Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome back to ManicManiac Predicts, the NFL season. Welcome back, everyone, and it was an exciting week one. I was surprised about a lot of things, but I was also very excited because there's a lot of big plays, especially considering week one. A lot of great games, that for sure. A lot of the Giants, Cowboys, and Falcons, Eagles game were probably my favorites. Just very intense competition. I want to go back and rewatch the Seahawks Rams game because that wasn't available in my area, but I heard that was awesome as well, and I really want to look into all of them. But of course, everything is over now. We're going to move on to week two, but before we do that, let's look back at my predictions and see how much I got right. It would probably make the most sense if the Patriots won their kickoff. This is such an obvious one to me. I'm just going to go right out and say it's going to be the Green Bay Packers that win. I would actually have to give this one to the Texans. So I say the Jets are going to win it. Maybe it's my inner Jets fan that's speaking. I'm going to say that the Bills are going to win this. I think the Dolphins will really kick ass. I'm going to say that the Panthers are going to win that one. So, Seahawks. And it's for that reason I picked the Cardinals, and I chose the Lions over the Chargers in this case scenario. I feel like the more established team is the Buccaneers. I'm going to say Raiders start out slow and lose to the Bengals. So I'm going to say right now that the Ravens will win that matchup. Picking them boys. This is an easy one for me. It has to be the Eagles. This is an easy one. The Vikings win. Ouch! So I got a 9-7 record for this week, and kind of unfortunate. I mean, for the first week, not really knowing for sure about anything, that's not too bad. It's generally average. But I want to improve on that. I want to make sure I can keep in the double digits. In terms of getting things right. 9, just missing the mark with 9 correct and 7 incorrect. Really, who the hell knows what's going to happen this week, though, because there's a lot of very awesome matchups coming up for you guys. So let's get into it right now. It is time for week 2 predictions. Whoops. That's one ahead of time. Alright, Thursday Night Football is tomorrow, when the Denver Broncos will be visiting Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Gotta say, the Kansas City Chiefs looked awesome against the Texans, and considering how good the Texans defense is, for the most part at least, they really pounded them. they did a really good job, and I gotta say, Alex Smith, a lot of people don't really consider him an elite cornerback or anything like that. I think he's really good. I think he's a really good quarterback. Not fantastic, not like Pro Bowl definitely quarterback, but he's pretty good. And of course you look at the Broncos, and everyone's wondering how the hell is Peyton Manning going to get through the season, or if he's at all still good enough to play this game. For me, I kind of been predicting this. I've been saying this since the playoffs. I've been saying how Peyton Manning, he's on his decline, and I don't know how much he's going to get better. That's why I went with the Ravens last week instead of the Broncos. And the Broncos ended up winning the whole thing, but it was really their defense that won him. The Peyton Manning, he didn't throw for a single touchdown. And it was just a really poorly played game by both quarterbacks. Yeah, I gotta admit, I still don't have a lot of hope for Peyton Manning right now, especially against the Chiefs with defense. Yes, the Broncos are amazing at defense as well, and I think that there's gonna be a lot of problems there, but right now, I feel like who is more put together right now is it Alex Smith with Jeremy Maclin, Travis Kelce, and Jamal Charles, and then you have on the other side, you got Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas, C.J. Anderson, Emmanuel Sanders, Owen Daniels. I mean, clearly, you want to say that the better offense is Peyton, but again, I think the Chiefs' defense is probably just as good, if not better, than that Ravens defense, believe it or not. I know, again, this is probably a very unpopular opinion, but I think the Chiefs are really good. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs here, and maybe I'm going to eat my words, and the Broncos are going to win this one too. But if anything is going to win this game for the Broncos, it's going to be their defense. And if Peyton Manning shows up, I will be very happy. Or in terms of playing very well, I hope he does. I really do, because Peyton Manning is one of the best of all time. The fact that he is kind of looked at as being a declining quarterback by me and by many other people really sucks. But this is just how I feel right now. I think the Chiefs have the better shot at winning right now than the Broncos. That's just how I see it. Again, it's Arrowhead Stadium. It's the loudest stadium in all of football, or one of the loudest. I think that it's going to be a rough game for Peyton. Just my opinion. Alright. On to Texans against the Panthers. I want to apologize real quick if you hear a motor behind me. I don't know why people are doing yard work at 6 o'clock at night. It's great, right? This is the Texans at the Panthers. This is going to be the first 1 o'clock matchup that we'll be covering. So look at both sides. Defenses are pretty good. The secondary is a little bit of a question for both. But overall, pretty good setup for both teams. But the big thing here is, and this is just an obvious one for me, you look at the offenses, and clearly the better team is the Panthers in this case, because you got Cam Newton, and you got Greg Olsen, and you got Jonathan Stewart, who is a underrated running back. He isn't the best, but gets the job done at least. The Texans are right now a little bit struggling. If they start Ryan Mallett, I think that they have a good shot. If they start Brian Hoyer, and I've been an advocate for Brian Hoyer, but I don't know, he did not prove it this first week, so I don't know. I think whoever starts at quarterback, the Panthers will end up winning this one at home. Get their second win, and while the Texans get their second loss. Alright. On to 49ers at the Steelers. This one really shocked me yesterday, or 2 days ago by the time you guys see this. The 49ers are good. I never really expected that. But you can't underestimate their defensive coordinator. They really kicked ass on defense yesterday. When that first kick happened, when the Vikings blocked it, and they were just running down the field with the ball, I mean, that was that was rough for the 49ers to go through. I thought that was like, all right, yeah, there you go, the Vikings are going to win. They held off Teddy Bridgewater very well. It was 20-3, and I think the Vikings need to start being worried, but we'll get to that later. The 49ers still have a great defense. Their offense is a lot better than people thought it was going to be. I mean, both quarterbacks were played pretty much the same way. Only one got the interception, which is Bridgewater. But Colin Kaepernick, he got the job done. Their running back, Carlos Hyde, I think he's going to be a star. He really played like he was it was his first NFL start, and he kicked ass. I think he's going to do really well in this league. And then you look at the Steelers, and there's a lot of question marks on defense, and how do you not cover Rob Gronkowski? They played horribly in that opening game, and the offense, they're going to still struggle without Le'Veon Bell for another week. They lost Martavius Bryant, and they still don't have Pouncey. I gotta give it to the 49ers, which I was not expecting for the life of me. But how poorly the Steelers played, and then how well the 49ers played this past Monday, there's no way. I gotta give it to the 49ers in this case. Just a huge shock, because I had some of these predictions set, and I was gonna pick the Steelers, and then whoa. Good on you, 49ers. Good on you. On to the Buccaneers and Saints. Another one of the divisional matchups. That's what I'm about to say. Both of these teams are currently sitting at the bottom of their division at 0-1, as if it really matters. So who will get their first win right here? And I don't know. I was trying to think this over, and I have an idea of who I want to see win. Well, of course I have an idea of who I want to see win, but in terms of who is going to win, I don't know. I think the Buccaneers just got this quarterback, Jameis Winston, and he did not play to potential this past game, especially against an equally weaker team with the Titans. He did not play to potential, but I think that a lot of you guys need to realize how great of weapons Jameis Winston has. He's got Doug Martin, who is really coming out and continues to be a good rusher. Vincent Jackson's still on the field. Mike Evans hopefully will return this week. Excuse me. Their defense, you thought their defense was going to be good. They played horribly against the Titans, but hopefully they can stop the rush with Drew Brees. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it. Of course, but then you look at the Saints, I gotta say that their defense still it's not the best still. Their defense still has a lot of questions, in my opinion. And you look at Drew Brees, you look at their running back, Mark Ingram, you look at Brandon Cooks, and they have a great setup there. They played relatively well against the Cardinals. Of course, they ended up losing. But, man, I don't really know where I want to go with this one. And I'm honestly going to do a surprise one. I'm going to say the Buccaneers are going to win this one. I said it last week. I said it this week. I think you need to give Jameis Winston time, probably, but I want to see him going to win. I think this is going to be his game against the Saints, against just a struggling defense in general. I think the defense is going to improve under Lovie Smith again. And I think the Bucs are going to get a win this time. That's just my opinion. I don't know. And another thing you should know, too, is that the Buccaneers, they're 0-8 at home, but they are, this is for last season, they were 0-8 at home, but they were 2-6 on the road. This could be one of their wins on the road this season. Just saying. All right. So I'm going to give it to the Buccaneers this time, and we'll see what happens. Vikings against the Lions. Vikings hosting the Lions, anyway. I was so shocked about the Vikings because I really thought they were going to be a great team, and then they have the performance like they did against the 49ers, and it really brings up a lot of worries, like, were we really overhyping them? Are they really not as good as we thought they were going to be? Well, here's the big thing that, at least how I see it, is that Teddy Bridgewater needs to get back into the rhythm, has to get back into football. I mean, he played great in the preseason. Now it doesn't really mean anything. And they have AP. They got some good wide receivers. They just need to play well. I mean, there's nothing really that I could say about the Vikings. It's just it's kind of disappointing to see that they lost the way they did. You look at the Lions, and they had a 21-3 lead, and then they really just choked, and then the Chargers ended up coming up and kicking ass on the Lions. But overall, right now, the better team is the Lions. I'm going to go with them. And again, this was another one of those matchups that it took me a while to pick because I thought the Vikings were better than they played, and then when they lost the way they did, I was like, well, the Lions are probably going to win next week as well. So maybe give it some time, but I think the Vikings will get there, and I think they'll get better this year. All right, the Cardinals against the Bears. So this is such an obvious one. I'm sorry. I mean, Jay Cutler put up a good fight against the Packers this week. Their offense was great, but the defense started to lack after a while, and then Jay Cutler did his usual thing and threw an interception to Clay Matthews, even though it was obvious coverage. So I gotta go with the Cardinals here. Just a better team all around, better offense, better defense, just great all around. So gotta go with the Cardinals. All right, one of my favorite matchups this week is the Patriots against the Bills. As a Bills fan, I mean, this might be a little bit of biased here, but let's face it, the Patriots are the best team in the league. They are right now, have shown that they are still the best team right now. However, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, that their defense does have some question marks. Not as many question marks as the Colts do, but they still do have question marks. They were able to stop Ben Roethlisberger a lot for the most part, but in terms of how good their offense is, definitely the Patriots win offensive-wise against the Bills. The Bills definitely win over the Patriots defense-wise, so it's going to be a elite offense against elite defense, and then meh offense, meh defense. So, if I had to say right now where I would put my W, it's really tough to say. That in these situations, I have to give it to the home team. And I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to say that they shocked the Patriots. I know, again, this could be just my bias coming out right now, but I really see that they could win this thing. I think either team could win this one. It depends on how strong the Patriots defense is, or how strong the Bills offense is, because you know that the Bills defense will be there to play, and the Patriots offense will be there to play. So we'll see what happens, but I think the Buffalo will shock the Patriots, especially at home at Ralph Wilson Stadium. I can't speak today. I apologize. Alright, on to Chargers against the Bills. Again, another one of these, they're both strong teams. The offenses have question marks, but they both played relatively well on Sunday. And you look at the defenses, and they were pretty strong on Sunday as well. But I have to give the edge to San Diego, just because I really still have question marks with Andy Dalton. Can Andy Dalton really be this powerhouse quarterback that carries this team to a playoff win, let alone the playoffs in general? So I think the San Diego Chargers are the better team in this instance. They're going to win against the Bengals away. On to Titans and the Browns. Man, Marcus Mariota surprised me, man. I'm happy though. I like Marcus Mariota. I really do. I'm really looking forward to seeing more games out of him. And you look at him, going up against the Browns. And I think he's gonna kick ass. Honestly, maybe I'm not giving enough credit to the Browns, but I'm gonna give it to the Titans. They have really proved me wrong in the fact that they were a strong offense against the Buccaneers last week. Wow. The Browns defense is, I think, could be better than the Buccaneers in a lot of ways, but I think that you're going to see some surprises. I think the Titans are going to win that one. Just offensively, I think the Titans are better than the Browns. Defensively, under Dick LeBeau, they're going to be a better team, and I think the Browns are defensively great as well. But I'm giving it to the Titans. Marcus Mariota, he's going to be a winner. All right, on to the Falcons and the Giants. I found this very interesting, considering that the Falcons faced the Eagles last week, and the Giants faced the Cowboys last week, and now the Cowboys and Eagles are also facing each other this week. So, I don't know, I guess there's a little rearrange of opponents there. So, again, I have no words to explain the Sunday night matchup with the Cowboys and Giants. I'm a Giants fan. I'm a Jets fan. I'm a Giants fan. I'm a Bills fan. Just so anyone knows, anyone who cares. That was a rough game to watch. I loved it though. Just as a football fan, it was a really just intense matchup. It was awesome to see Tony Romo just come out of nowhere and all of a sudden lead this winning drive. Really, it was a fun game to watch, really intense as well. Didn't work out in Giants' favor at all, and I think that there's going to be some question marks, surprisingly, more on the offense than the defense, because their defense actually came to play that Monday, or that Sunday night, rather. So, you gotta look at that offense, and the Falcons, though, the Falcons look like a new team. I may replace my sleeper team from the Vikings to the Falcons, honestly, because the Falcons looked really good under Dan Quinn. I'm gonna give this one to the Falcons because I think that they have a really good team. Apparently, they looked awesome on defense. Matt Ryan kicked ass on a lot of plays as well. I gotta give it to them. Good on the Falcons, man. Good on Dan Quinn. I'm very happy about him getting a job as a head coach because he's gonna make that team great. All right. We are on to Rams against the Redskins. I don't know, man. Last week the Rams really just completely. They put up quite a fight, and I cannot believe that they came out with the win there. One of the best defenses last weekend to watch. They stopped Marshawn Lynch for that game winner. That was insane. I got to see clips from it because I watch NFL Red Zone, but I haven't seen the whole game, so I don't really know how well each team did in that sense. But Nick Foles apparently did pretty well, and Russell Wilson and the offensive line of the Seahawks just did terrible. I don't know. I'm gonna give this one to the Rams because I think that they've played better thus far. They've played better than the Redskins have, and the Redskins haven't played awful. I saw some clips from the Dolphins Redskins game. They haven't played terrible, but I think that the Rams will best them in this situation. All right, on to Dolphins at the Jags. So, you look at the Dolphins, and they are just superior to the Jaguars. This is an easy one to me. The Dolphins win. Jaguars did not play well last week. The Panthers-Jaguars game in general was just not that entertaining to watch, but the Jaguars, they just really struggled, and I think the Dolphins, with Jarvis Landry, and Lamar Miller is going to surprise some people. Ryan Tannehill is going to surprise some people. And, of course, that defensive line. So and Wake, don't worry about it. Dolphins fans, you guys are going to be good for this week. I think Dolphins are going to beat the Jaguars to a pulp. Ravens against the Raiders. This is a very easy one again for me. I got to give it to the Ravens here. But the Raiders, they got some good stuff going on. Obviously, last week was not a good example of it. They have some good players, and I think they can put it together and do really well. But they need to just keep on watching that tape. They grow better as a unit, as a team. Because I think they can do really good things, but just last week they just fell apart against the Bengals. The Ravens, I think, will beat the Raiders again, but we'll have to see what happens. Alright, another one of my favorite matchups coming up this week is the Dallas Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles. This one, surprisingly for me, I think this is going to be another easy one. And I'm going to go with the Eagles. The Cowboys lost Des Bryant. The Eagles played great defense on Monday. Obviously, they had a lot of issues against that Falcon defense, but the Dallas defense is not as great as the Falcons defense. The Dallas, what? I'm having a lot of trouble speaking today. So what I was trying to say was that Dallas defense is a lot worse than the Falcons defense. So in that sense, I think the Eagles can do a lot of damage, and defensively the Eagles are better as well as of right now. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are definitely going to still be competitors in this division. I think they can still play well without Des Bryant. I think that the Eagles are going to really show their colors next week, and I really think they're going to kick ass. So that's the Eagles. I think that's the easy pick for me, especially with Randy Gregory and Des Bryant injuries for the Cowboys that they have to deal with. Alright, Sunday Night Football. We're finally getting to prime time. It is the Seahawks against the Packers. NFC Championship rematch at Lambeau Field. And I don't know. This is honestly still a tough one. I mean, yes, the Packers won, the Seahawks lost. It could be easy just to pick the Packers. But the Seahawks defense, you can't roll them out. They are still really good. The Packers defense is pretty good as well. The Packers offense is amazing. And then the Seahawks offense has been struggling. Let's face it, they've struggled against those Rams. So I think that in this instance, the reason I'm going to go with the Packers here is because last year the Packers went 8-0 at home. And they are going to have a good night offensively without Cam Chancellor around. That Green Bay Packer offense gets a huge advantage, and I think that they can really help they can really do some damage on the Seahawks defense. And then I think there's going to be some rushers, some Green Bay rushers that are going to destroy the Seahawks. Honestly, surprisingly or not, this NFC Championship team is going to struggle for the first 2 games, and that doesn't. I'm not going to say it surprises me, because I kind of figured with their offensive line getting rid of Max Unger, I kind of figured that it's a little iffy there, but. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers winning that whole thing. I mean, why not? I think that they are by far, not by far, not at all, but they're a really good team, and I think the Seahawks are struggling right now, but they'll get their groove sooner or later. I think they still will have that shot at the NFC West title. All right, the Jets and the Colts. The Jets and the Colts. Monday Night Football. The Colts had a terrible time against the Bills. Their defense destroyed them. The Colts defense couldn't really stop the Bills. It was just a mess for the Colts. But you get this shot with the Jets, and again, as a Jets fan, this is just me speaking from experience. Is that their offense the offense and defense for the Jets is a lot worse than the Bills. I think defensively the Jets can do a lot of damage, and especially with Revis Island there, Antonio Cromartie might be there, depends on if he's week to week, so who knows. You got a crazy defensive line, who knows what will happen there. But you look at the offense, you got Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. He's not very threatening at all. You got Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker, 2 really good wide receivers, but I think T.Y. Hilton is a little bit more threatening, and Andre Johnson is more threatening as well. And you look like... Oh, wait, no, T.Y. Hilton's out, isn't he? Shit. Forgot about that. I don't know, then. I think that the Colts... I'm going to say the Colts are going to win right now. I don't know, though. I have to think about this. Because... No, I'm gonna say the Colts. It's just I think that Andrew Luck had a rough first week, and I think he's gonna have a good week this week. But the Jets, I think, are gonna put up a good fight. Not as big of a fight as the Buffalo, but a good fight. And that is the end of the NFL predictions. Sorry for the very awkward commentary this time around. I kind of just did this on a way, I just winged it, and just to see what happens. A lot of bad commentary all around, so I apologize for that. But anyways, guys, my predictions are in. Let me know in the comments below what you think will happen this week, and any opinions that I had that you may disagree with. Please let me know. Politely, of course. Let me know. See what you can... I would love to be convinced of certain things. I'd love to see if I'm wrong about certain things. And just let me know, because that'd be awesome. Alright, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Week 2 starts tomorrow. Broncos and Chiefs. We'll see what happens. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.